All right, looks like we are live. Welcome to the show. We've got the drone buzz today. Got a guest, Cornell Herg from Emacs. He's going to tell us, we're going to ask him anyway what Emacs has in the works. Got some fun Emacs drones that we're going to fly around. We're giving away a couple of drones. We're going to give away a fly hall and an Emac. Is it a Nano? We're going to give away a Nano.
The Tinyhawk, yeah.
Tinyhawk. All right, which is fun. Definitely love one of those. So 2 drone giveaways, turtle time, and we're going to learn a little bit more about Emacs and some of their stuff. So stay tuned. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Okay, so we're back. We're live. We've got Cornell here. We're going to give away a couple of drones, so some good stuff. So welcome everybody to the show. We've got some friendly faces here in the chat. I see the Drone Ranger just showed up. Mike B, John Smitty, Brad Alston, Southern Illinois Aerial, Mac 282, Brad Alston, River City, the Drone Ready, Joe Blaylock. He's won Troll Time a couple of times. Drone Shots, just JRCs, Mike, Air 2 Army, John Cuppy, all in the house. So got a good crew of people. I'm sure there'll be more filtering through. And then, of course, some people catch this not live. Sad to be you guys because no free drones going to them, huh? So Cornell, thanks for joining us. We're
super excited, Jack.
Yeah, glad to be here. We touched base the other day, so I'm glad that you're able to join us on the show. So let's start with where are you from?
So I'm here in California, and that's kind of where Emacs USA is based, just south of LA. And one of the things that was really important about building just a US base was to give people, good American style customer service, being more of a voice in FPV, and just kind of being down center with so many pilots, some awesome pilots. So that's kind of why we're all stationed right here, and it's really exciting.
Yeah, that is awesome. I've said it for years. I do love Emacs stuff because it, there are a whole lot of options out there, and I found, when it comes to FPV, not everything is not everything works the way you want it to, and nothing's easy. But Emacs has kind of taken some steps to kind of make it a lot easier. And your stuff is good. Like it
Oh
really
yeah.
legitimately is good stuff.
Dude, we're really prideful about that. It's something I've really wanted, uh, as I've been flying FPV for so long. And when I got started, I mean, it was just bad. It was so hard to get an FPV because, for one, there weren't any like ready to fly drones, none at all. So it was like, okay, gotta find like some carbon fiber plates. And frames were like really expensive back then. You're dumping at least like $150 into a racing drone frame. You're gambling with some like weird ESC electronics. Oh, Simon K, or how about this new BL Heli? Like, what's the right way to build it? What's flight controller, clean flight, beta flight, open pilot? I mean, there were just so many things. It was so complicated. And after about you're done spending like $3,000-$4,000, you finally have like a ready to go kit that hopefully won't catch fire. So
Right, and then you go out and fly it and crash it, and then you got to start over, right? Or you got to
start endless repeating. Your average FPV drone that you build would be like $800. I mean, it was just absolutely insane and a huge waste of money back then, to be perfectly honest. So one of the big things when as I started getting more into FPV and I eventually came to Emacs was just really pushing towards simplifying FPV, getting as many people to experience the fun of FPV. I mean, not many people can just, buy a plane and go flying out and getting, all the licensing and everything. Not to mention you're also, putting your life at risk in a way. So to me, FPV, I think, is the perfect way for people to experience flight. And it's just something I'm really passionate about. And I want to get as many people into it as possible.
Yeah, it is a different experience, right? So Chris and I, we both started in photography drones and kind of transitioned to FPV. And it is such a unique experience. It's so unlike, it's very different from flying a Mavic or something, which I love. I still love flying those things, but you get behind the goggles and you're once you get into acro, and it's a different experience for sure.
It's a fighter jet. It's the closest anyone's going to get to flying a fighter jet for the average consumer.
It's like I always say, it's like I'm a big nerd, so I like Star Wars and stuff like that. It's like Anakin Skywalker in the pod racers, right? Like you're in control. You're right up front there. It's a blast. So for sure.
Yeah, and so let's talk about the two drones you have there, Jack, because I hadn't flown either of these until yesterday, and I was I don't know, I hadn't flown in a couple weeks actually, which I know probably for this audience is probably a lifetime, but usually that means I'm going to be terrible. But for some reason, I mean, Jack, my reaction was.
It was hilarious, actually.
I was like freaking out at how good I was at flying those little things. They were just really easy to fly. They easy to control. Like they felt like a slow drone, meaning I could really take my time and go slowly. But then if I wanted to go fast, I could. So I just had a lot of control that I feel like in this scale, flying indoor, I don't usually have. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the tuning or what, but I was just dialed in with those things.
Or the couple of beers he had ahead of time that calmed his nerves. Yeah, no. I started Chris with the Tinyhawk 3 because he was supposed to take it home and then he'd have it for turtle time. But I have it, so that's fine. I'll fly it for turtle time. And it was, I gave him a low camera angle, and then we switched to the Easy Pilot Pro, and I gave him the remote controller that comes with it, and he was same thing. What your take between the two, Chris?
I thought I mean I didn't have a ton of time to really get it's like really get the handle on one and see if it was different. They both felt about the same to me. Just the camera was a little bit better on the Tinyhawk 3. But other than that, both felt great to fly. So I don't know what you guys are doing over there, but really, really nice. I mean, I've flown a lot of these tiny whoops, things like that, and these just felt great.
Yeah, no, I mean, for one, it's just like, yeah, we put a lot of R&D into specifically the flight experience. That's something like we really focus on. So like, you know, obviously pointing out, unlike other tiny whoops, right? Our Tinyhawk series are the only drones where, you know, it's reversed, because we found that it was obviously, right, way more efficient. The performance was just unmatched. We found an increase in like a minute and a half of like flight time. So it's just, it hit all the marks and the benchmarks to where we could get a whoop sized drone to fly as close as you could to something larger. And that was just something we really wanted to nail in the very first Tinyhawk. And then from there, it's just been slowly improving, getting customer feedback, because, you know, I don't know if all companies do this, but at least for us at Emacs, we really do, like, we watch every single review. We read comments on Instagram, Facebook. We're in Facebook groups. I mean, we're all pilots in at the office. We're all just passionate about FPV, and we're all listening to the feedback and trying to tweak the drone over time to like match exactly what people want. So things like keeping the feel, upgrading the camera, right? So that's kind of what the Tinyhawk 3 offers. You know, people want like a more immersive experience. I mean, that's why like HD FPV, right, is on the rise, and that's where a lot of people are moving toward, instead of analog. Hopefully one day, as HD technology gets smaller, we can eventually migrate even our tiny whoops over into that field. So it's just naturally, it's just trying to make our drones more and more user-friendly and more exciting to fly.
Yeah. A lot of people agreeing. Yeah, people saying had some help with DJ or with Emacs port. I actually, my very first tiny, maybe it was, I don't know, I did have an issue with something, and I did have to reach out to Emacs port, and they were helpful. I didn't tell them who I was or how I got the drone or any of that, or that I was making reviews on it, but they were helpful. So yeah, no, that is pretty awesome. Joe asked, did I hear the Tinyhawk 3 has DVR? It does, right? The Tinyhawk 3 in the goggle, in the monitor component has a DVR. That's another difference between the Tinyhawk 3 and the Easy Pilot Pro. But Chris and I, you know, years ago, we were working with someone and trying to build an FPV kit. Remember with Sanjay, Chris, and you built exactly what we wanted. We want a small drone that you could fly that had a good, a good solid remote, and a set of goggles that you could fly that wasn't going to break the bank, and was already set up so you could just like plug things in and go fly, and you didn't have to connect it to your computer and hold down buttons and pray that you did everything right, and then but yeah, that is, I think, absolutely an underrated part of these two drones, right? They come as complete ready to fly kits, and I think you were really intentional in the components that you made. Like, I mean, listen, I'm not going to say this is the world's greatest radio, but the gimbals they're not like the cheap toy grade gimbals. You got a nice solid gimbal that works. We've got 4 switches, and 2 3-way switches, which is a big deal. I've got a micro USB in the bottom, so I can plug this into my computer and use it with a simulator. That's a huge deal. Like that is a big deal, because anybody that wants to get an FPV, that's the first thing I'll tell them is get a remote, plug it into your computer, learn how to fly. So
absolutely. And that was like something we really wanted to invest a lot of time into. I mean, that controller, I'll tell you, with Emacs, we really spend a lot of time in R&D. And I could confidently say more so than like most of our competitors at the very least, because like that controller has been in R&D ever since the original RTF kit release. Like, we've invested a long time into sourcing the exact gimbal we wanted that was like still affordable for beginners, but still had good high quality performance, making sure it feels good. There's good weight to it. Having the feature of it attaching to the goggle screen. So a lot of more DJI oriented pilots can actually have something they're more familiar with. I mean, every little thing we put so much thought and effort into. So it's something we're really proud of. And it's, to me, I think it's, one of the best RTF kits you can find out there, because it's coming from someone like me and our team who are FPV pilots. And those are the exact things that we wanted back when we started.
Yeah. So would you say that Tinyhawk, I mean, is your flagship drone, and it's going to be in the future? Or you see something else coming down the road, or?
Well, we're always experimenting with like some new ideas, different form factors where FPV is going to go, because there's such crazy like new technology coming out, especially in the actual FPV space, as far as like video feeds and stuff, right? Like now we have DJI for HD, we have HD0, so those how those play out in the future, it's really interesting where things are going. For now, like Tinyhawk has been definitely our stable like flagship that has gotten so many people into FPV. And like, I mean, now if you ask a lot of beginners who have been in FPV in the last year or two, they probably started on a Tinyhawk. So it's something we want to keep going, but we also don't want to be stagnant. That's one of the big things. Like, you don't want to, end up making, the iPhone, 15. It's like, okay, what's different about it, right? Yeah. So we do want to keep innovating, coming up with new technologies. So that's where we'll try different things. We try like the Nanohawk. We have some other things in the work. We're just curious, how can the technology go into that space? So it's something, Tinyhawk is where we're at, but whether that's where we're still going to be 5 years from now, I don't know. That's hard to say.
That's cool. Maddie's Drone World says they're giving away like 5 Emacs kits, the South Florida Drone Meetup. That's 3 Tinyhawk 2s and 2 Tinyhawk F kits. Freestyle.
2 freestyle.
Right? Yeah, that's awesome. John Cuppy says, I'd like to see Emacs do a Cinewhoop. Any thoughts on the Cinewhoops?
Oh boy. My background a bit, I come from more of like the filmmaker kind of side. So I'm very, very selective in what I think, Cinewhoops need. So, whether there's one that comes out or not, I cannot say. But, like I said, we're always looking ahead. So
interesting.
We'll see.
I always wondered, I always thought it would be interesting, right? So, these something like this. And actually, I don't even I don't like those.
That thing's heavy, if I remember.
Yeah, I actually like these, right? The smaller ones. But I always thought it would be interesting if a Cinewhoop like this had something like an altitude hold, where you wouldn't have to be a freestyle pilot to be able to fly one. As these things get more popular, I see more and more people use them in real estate shoots.
Yeah.
You have to be really skilled to fly through a house. And just adding something like altitude hold on one of these would enable a lot of pilots to be able to do something like that. I just think that would be an interesting take that I haven't really seen anybody try. I guess the closest is something like this. This little whoop here has
Cetus.
The Cetus. It has some altitude hold. And actually, there was a Eachine made one, the M80. Actually, Chris, you remember that thing? The little red deal.
Turn it on and off, right? It's nice. Yeah, I like features you can turn off.
We also have this. This is the Easy
The
Pilot.
Easy Pilot Pro, yeah, our
It also has
the
altitude
original
hold.
Easy Pilot. That's right. That
Yes.
did have altitude hold.
So-
We gave that to our nephew Levi, and he destroyed it. I forgot about that one. Yeah, no, great, interesting idea. But yeah, I would like to see that on a Cinewhoop. I think
I completely agree with you. I think definitely with cine whoops, especially when you're targeting more the cinematic audience, we want, like, especially as, like, from a filmmaker point, you want like the nice on rails look. You don't like it when things are like bobby, right? That's why like people invest into gimbals and all these kind of things. So definitely like anything to help assist the pilot in getting really smooth, easy shots, as well as being as user friendly as possible, is definitely something I think is very important that a lot of existing Cinewhoops are missing, for sure.
Yeah, and as long as you can turn those features off, for the
you want options, right?
Yeah,
but that's just the thing. Like, no one else, no other existing Cinewhoops have tried to invest into, just building like features and things that can help assist. And I think that's kind of what's holding back a lot of like just FPV from improving for now.
Yeah,
is kind of, it's the software space. Because like, even as great as Betaflight is, and it's an open source software, a lot of the Betaflight team is more interested in the technical. They're more interested in like optimizing performance and tuning and things. And whereas that's great, I definitely see a need for like some new features, things like, barometer hold and things like that, to start becoming more and more like easy to use in a lot of these open source softwares. Because even with like the Easy Pilot, we had to write our own custom firmware for this drone, just to have the barometer hold and the one stick flying feature that we created.
That's right. I forgot all about that. Yes, that was different. That was cool.
Yeah, it was the easiest thing. Like, you could hand this drone to anybody and get them to fly. And like, kind of my inspiration when I was really pushing to build this product at Emacs was I wanted to get my wife to fly. Because my wife, she doesn't really play video games. She's not exactly the best at like hand-eye coordination, things like that. And she could fly this. And that's what I wanted out of this product. So that's something I really want to see more, expand more into higher performance drones, getting more, beginner features, but they're features you can turn off and also still have a lot of the pro performance that experienced pilots like us do prefer. Like, if you could have something with removable training wheels in FPV, I think that would just be absolutely revolutionary and can help bring a whole new wave of brand new FPV pilots into the hobby.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of people knock the DJI FPV drone, but it does have
some training wheels.
It does have some training wheels, right? You can fly this thing and you hit a button, and then all of a sudden it just stops and it just hangs out there, and it's pretty awesome. Like, I mean, no, this is not. It's absolutely not a freestyle quad. And when you think, FPV or acro, you don't think of this, but it's a different kind of drone. And you're right. I think this, when they built this thing, they built it with some training wheels, which is cool. So
and I'm not saying like, the new, like, 5-inch racing drones all need to have like super heavy equipment for training wheels. But even if it's like some simple features, right, like a barometer hold, which is like, not sure, it's not the best, it's not ultra reliable, it's no GPS hold or anything,
right?
But if you're still trying to like, minimize your weight for racing performance, but hey, flight controls already have barometers, why not, you know, we try to have the software kind of get a little better at that, more user friendly. So, you know, a lot more pilots can just have that as an option when they're starting FPV. I think something like that would really help, you know.
For sure. For sure.
Mhm.
I think that would be awesome. What about some of these other awesome things that are hitting the hobby, right? ExpressLRS is pretty
Oh
awesome.
yeah.
I didn't see that in my Tinyhawk. You guys working on some of that stuff?
I mean, ExpressLRS, I mean, we definitely listened to the community, you know, and like, yeah, I guess this one shouldn't be too much of a surprise. Like, yeah, of course, you know, we're working on ExpressLRS, and actually we've been working on ExpressLRS for quite a while, since like V.1 actually. So it's definitely something we're looking at. It's just for us with Emacs, we're very like big on quality and such, and making sure everything kind of matches what we're looking for, especially for us because we are slightly bigger of an FPV company with a lot more reach. You could definitely imagine, like, whenever there's something new that's constantly evolving, a lot of the customer support, a lot of things on that end, and making sure everything works right. So it might, you know, it takes a while, but we should definitely have something coming soon,
Okay.
for sure.
Very cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
The other thing, you know, our last guest was Ryan Quillette, and he was showing us he has a Tinyhawk that he put an HD0 board on and was flying around some Tiny Whoop HD. You guys got anything like that coming out
Dude,
in the
I
works?
would love. Look, as a pilot, I would love an HD Tinyhawk. All right, just obviously, who doesn't, right? I mean, yeah, for me, like, even most of my rigs are like on DJ. I haven't fully switched to HD0 yet or anything, but
Yeah.
definitely once. Yeah, now that the tech is getting smaller and smaller, I mean, I'm really excited about all the possible form factors and things moving forward. An HD Tinyhawk, I mean, you know, when something like that would come out, can't really say or whatnot, but like, it is definitely something that would be down our pipeline for sure.
Yeah. When
How
people are making them, I'm sure you guys are you're testing something. I'm sure.
Yeah.
how big
Absolutely.
and how big and spread out? How big is your team? How big how big are you guys? Your engineering team, for example.
I mean, all right, if it's just like, all right, like the main office employees, Emacs USA, we're still smaller. So we're like about like 8 people. Whereas our international team is a much bigger office. I can't exactly remember how many people we have there, but it's like plenty of like engineers, RF engineers, you know, chip designers, things like that. But probably, I don't know, maybe like 20 to 30 or something like that, just of the international office. And then like we do one of the ways we, you know, make sure our quality control and things are uptight is you know, we do produce as much as we can in-house. I mean, as you probably know, with our history, we first got into the hobby through you know, servos and brushless motors. That's kind of how Emacs has started, and then just over time trying to you know, gain more assets and eventually start building drones completely in-house. Obviously, electronics you still have to source, but at least we have control in designing and all of those things in-house, and that's how we make sure we keep the quality high.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever need a couple more beta testers, we're always willing to help out.
Absolutely.
No
Absolutely.
leaks.
So you pretty much focus. I mean, it seems like the tiny whoops are kind of your thing, but you go. It's FPV 5-inch down to that. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely everything. We cover all the grounds. So, yeah, we start with our whoops, like the easy pilot stuff. And there we go. Chris has it right there. That's our Hawk, the Sport or the Pro?
Pro.
The Pro, nice.
I think with the light up motor. Is that
the LED motors? Yeah.
Actually, I don't know which one that is. Chris, those
The
those
Pulsars.
motors? Yeah.
The Pulsars are. I love those motors so much. They're basically the race spec motors that kind of made us very popular. Bit more performance, and we added LEDs to it. I love it. It's such a fun. It's a fun gimmick, and it makes night flying way more exciting because a lot of people like the neon gates and stuff. So
yeah, that is cool. This is is it Baby Hawk? I forget. I squeezed a Caddx Vista in this thing.
Oh my gosh. That is insane. I can't believe you fit that in there though.
Yeah.
How does it hold?
They're bolts. I switched the bolts out, just have really long bolts going through the whole through the whole stack there. But
gotcha.
I love.
That looks fun.
I love my HD, and I like flying 5-inch drones, but I am always nervous. Like I can't find a large enough place away from people that makes me comfortable, right? So that's why I like the smaller drones, the 3, the 4 inchers, the tiny whoops. I actually prefer flying these things around in my basement and other places. We were at so I coach a high school drone team. That's a thing, and we went to this school I think they're in Evanston, Illinois, over by the lake. And this school was a huge school, and it was 3 stories where we're changing levels inside the school, just giant open areas. Super cool. I'll be making a video on it probably later this week. Just super fun, and you get a little whoop in there, and it was a blast.
That sounds like so much fun. That's like every FPV guy's dream, right? To fly like a big building, multiple floors, maybe a bando or something. That's awesome.
It was super cool. It was me and a bunch of high school kids and a bunch of middle school kids. There was a middle school division race in there too. Super cool. All our kids.
How's their flying?
What's that?
How's their flying?
They do okay.
Their skills. Yeah,
they do okay. I mean, they're high school kids that were, far better than me. Not like I'm a great pilot, but I'm okay. The kids are way better.
Don't demote yourself like that. I'm sure they're great because you helped them.
but the kids are still better, for sure. So, yeah, our kids all fly Emacs stuff actually.
Awesome.
So, good stuff.
Yeah.
Chris, what was the drone you were asking me about the other day that you were?
What, some new
FPV
features?
Drone.
Sure.
Oh, the 360 drone.
Oh yeah.
Right. The what is it? The Beta FPV makes a drone. You put a 360 camera in the middle, right?
Yeah.
Basically, the thing disappears. You guys ever mess around with anything like that?
That's something. It really interests me, and I definitely would like to get into something like that. But the issue with 360 cameras is the tech's still kind of new. It's not exactly the most user friendly,
right?
And form factors are just constantly changing.
Yeah.
So if I don't know, if from my mindset, it would be if we were to do something like that, I would rather we just internally make our own 360 camera, disassembled, built into a drone, because at least then we have more control over something, and the product wouldn't become immediately outdated when the new 360 camera comes out and it's a completely different shape. So that's kind of one of the issues with making a very specific niche product like that. Now, something some companies, because they operate on lower MOQs, they can experiment with something like that. But for us with Emacs, we do try to make products that like last longer, have a wider reach, a wider audience, because more of our goal is to really just grow the hobby as opposed to just making tiny niche products.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what? One of my all-time favorite products that you guys ever made was that tiny little race car with the camera on it.
Yes, the
Holy
Interceptor.
cow. Yes, the
Thank
Interceptor.
you.
That thing was an absolute blast. Like we were driving that thing around. Like you could, because like FPV drones are awesome, but not everybody can fly them. I gave another one of our nephews, Marshall, ruined that car. Plugging in, super excited, plugged in the battery the wrong way. But like you can give anyone that little car. You strap the goggles on, and they think it's the coolest thing ever. Driving around under the chairs, dogs chasing it. That thing is awesome. Any cars in the works?
Oh my gosh, dude. I mean, Interceptor is definitely one of my favorite products. Absolutely. We definitely like have some ideas and things like that, but I don't know. It's our FPV cars are like they appeal more to just the existing FPV audience, and that's where it was like it's a very interesting, hard way to push it. I think one of the issues is just like the Interceptor was like slightly bigger and stuff like that. So maybe if it was more of a like a more user-friendly kind of format, is definitely something like I want to do. And something like we're looking into and whatnot, but don't have any like big plans for anything anytime soon. But man, I'm so glad you bring this up, because it's like what we do need is like we definitely want to see like when the community is very outspoken, like, oh, they want this, they want that. Like I said, like we listen to all of that, and especially if people like start rising up and saying they want more FPV cars, it's definitely gonna push things more into that direction.
Yeah, that thing was.
What about the other kind of weird angle we slightly think about? We've been actually, Jack, we were actually thinking of converting this guy. We've been dying to make a waterproof drone at some point. Jack mentioned the snow flights. Get a big old like 1 liter water bottle up here, fill it with air, and just like see if this thing will float. What about waterproofing something? What do you guys think about? People have done it. A drone that'll float. I mean, waterproofing is maybe 10% of the battle, really. If it's at the bottom of a lake, it's no good to you. You guys thought of anything about that? I know you seem like you're pretty passionate about a few things. That's something you've thought about?
Yeah. It's something like I've toyed with, and like we've looked into it. Main issue with like things like conformal coding and things is then like back service, repairing drones, things like that. It gets a little messy when it gets into that realm of things. And then on top of just, again, trying to market, oh yeah, this drone goes underwater, but then a lot of beginners don't understand, oh yeah, water, RF isn't as, strong. So then you can easily lose range, lose your drone. And then who are you going to blame? Oh, it's, the radio, it has short range, and you market it for long range or something. It gets really complicated when you go down that path. But it's something I would love to do, is like maybe pushing it like, weather resistant drone or something like that. Yeah. Maybe that's like a direction. I'm just really curious. Like,
snow.
You have snow. Yeah, snow would definitely be a big one.
All the time, and the drone's usually warm, and snow sticks to it and very quickly turns into water. Yeah. So there's some advantage there to robustness for sure, because we spend about a third of the year dealing with snow here.
Yeah. Okay.
Seems like more than that sometimes.
It snowed this weekend.
Yesterday, day before.
Well, let me ask you, with Chris, but do you end up flying more outside during winter time, or do you just end up just staying home because it's warmer and flying whoops, you know?
Yeah, we do for sure. But there's
Yeah.
definitely some beautiful stuff you can do out there when stuff's covered in snow.
Yeah,
You can fly from
absolutely.
inside your car if you have to keep your hands warm. The hands is the biggest problem, by far.
Oh yeah. Unless you get one of those like big controller muffs. Have you seen those before? Just like a big box with like sleeves. You stick your hand in there and fly.
Yes. I've seen them. I do not own one. I will just sit in my car.
Yeah,
that's
I
how
think
I
I'd
do it.
pass on one of those.
Mhm.
It's a little
Yeah.
tacky.
So, yeah. I mean, we definitely do fly outside some. I've definitely landed multiple things in the snow before, including
Mhm.
DJI products, and quickly try to blow off the snow as quickly as I can. That wasn't my fault, actually. The original Mavic Air just decided to fly sideways into a tree in my backyard.
Just
Oh
all
my
by
gosh.
itself, of course.
Yeah, it's
Just by
crazy to
itself,
see
huh?
it disappear into like 2 feet of snow. I'm like, where did it go? I reach in there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
That's
but
awesome.
yeah, we've got so conformal coating. I mean, is as far as I know lots of people have done this stuff. I mean, is that the main thing that you need is just to protect the boards? The motors are pretty safe in your mind?
Yeah, motors are waterproof. They can
Yeah.
run in the water because they're still conformal. They're still coating on the wires and such.
Mhm.
Right.
Some enamel, yeah. So no problem there. It's really just the flight controller, ESCs, whatever, however you do your electronics.
Mhm.
That seems to be the main issue generally.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Should we
We're
do
gonna keep
some
trying.
should we do some flying?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, Chris, why don't I'll get set up here. Chris, why don't you talk about what we're doing?
The rules?
Sure.
Rules of turtle time. So I'm guessing most of the people on the stream.
What are we doing? What is turtle time? We can't assume that everybody knows what we're doing right now.
So Jack's gonna fly around the basement. We guess and start taking guesses now. So start throwing your times up. He's gonna be flying the Tinyhawk 3.
Tinyhawk 3.
So put your guesses up as to how long he can fly. Now we don't count crashes unless he turtles, which is why we call it turtle time, or gets the drone stuck or otherwise incapacitates it. We got the guesses coming in. And we watch all this live. So we get the live feed from the Tinyhawk here, as you can see.
Second.
I'll man the official clock here on my phone, but feel free to audit me as well. And I'll just tell Jack, are you about set up?
But turtle time, does that include batteries? Like how many batteries he can go through? Or is it how long for one battery?
If he makes it a full battery, then that's the time. Yeah. So don't guess 20 minutes. We've never
I won't
made
make a full
20
battery. I don't think that's ever happened.
I've killed one.
Actually, you did do it once.
Yeah. So that's happened. But Jack did his first turtle time. Jack's a better pilot than I am, but there's something with the nerves of the live stream, and I trash talked him or whatever, and it was a pretty sad little flight.
Gets in his head.
Lon thinks it's going to take 6 minutes to get set up. Jack,
right, I'm ready. You're ready? I'm good to go.
Oh, I'm going to hype it up. I'm giving him 4 minutes, the full battery. Let's go.
Did you put your time in the chat?
That would be impressive. Are you ready, Chris?
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. This is the Tinyhawk 3. Let me get my bearings here, getting out of the room. Now I am in angle mode here, which, oh man, a little wobbly.
Oh man. Oh boy, go in the chairs already.
Heck yeah. We hit the chairs, we'll hit the hoop up here. Oh, it's a little crooked.
Solid.
My other hoop's still stuck on the ceiling. I forgot to pull that one down.
Go for it.
All right. So we got this here. Ooh, little wobbly. Gosh, I feel like I've had 6 beers, but I haven't had a single one. It's brutal. Chair.
Maybe that's your problem. Oh no, it's a turtle.
Oh no, turtle.
49 seconds.
That's what I got.
Brutal.
So
Who's closest?
Add a 0 and it'd be 4 minutes and 90 seconds. And that's somewhat 4 minutes, right?
Gosh darn it! All right,
just keep flying while I
right, so
I'll find the winner. Go out there and flip it, or
I'm gonna flip it.
Turtle it.
I won't turtle it. Stuck on something.
Let's see, what do we got? I'm looking through the guesses. I think 1 minute might have been the closest guess. Was it Joel? Joel, did you win this one?
Yeah. So yeah. Make sure we get his email, or the first part of his email. Oh goodness. There we go. Get my bearings.
Hold it together there.
Email, or at least the first part of our of the email, so that we can send him a drone. Which drone are we giving away first? We determined that.
Oh, we didn't.
Well, ask him. What does he want? Does he want the Tinyhawk, or does he want the Fly Haul? It's basically a Bugs. What is that? A Bugs 6?
Yeah. Let me see if I can.
Hey, I just finished my basement. Check this out. I put in a fish tank. Tell me that's not
That
cool.
is so cool. I actually love fish tanks. I did quite a bit. I had like 10 tanks going on at once.
Oh, so did I. I'm a big nerd. Here, I'll show you. I got another one there.
Oh,
quarantine
sweet.
tank, and then
All
down
right.
here. Hold on, see. I don't know if we'll be able to find him. There's Dwight Schrute, the axolotl, lives in that tank.
Oh, sick.
And there's a guppy in there. All right, so I don't know if I'll be able to find Dwight Schrute, but
So Joel's going for the Bug 6.
the Bug 6. All right, so let's do this.
So Joel, throw a portion of your email.
Yeah, so the first part of the email. How about it? We'll do it again. But here. So I'll fly again, and but this time I'll do the Easy Pilot Pro. We can see how long I can fly this one.
All right, I reset the clock here. You get set
for the
up.
Nanohawk.
So this one's for the Nanohawk.
This is for the Nanohawk. Tell us about the Nanohawk.
Oh yeah, so the Nanohawk, it's kind of like, the best way to describe it's like our performance Tinyhawk. So it's a lot smaller, a lot more power to weight ratio. I mean, the thing is a beast in a race. So when you go to whoop races and things, you'll see Tinyhawks and stuff, but a lot of the really aggressive pilots, you'll see them running Nanohawks a lot of times. They're really fast.
Black, right?
Yeah, it's the black one, super thin.
Yep.
Don't have one on me right now. But.
This is what I did to my Nanohawk. I chopped off the
guards,
and I put bigger props on it.
Nice.
All right, we got.
How's that thing fly?
It doesn't anymore.
Oh, rip. Okay.
People are entering new time, so I guess everybody go ahead and enter a new time if you want to go.
It was good. All right, I'm flying this one with the standard Easy Pilot Pro remote,
control.
Not the goggles
the
though.
Is what we call it.
What is it called? I forget.
Yeah,
T8?
we call it the E8.
E8.
E for
E8.
Emax and 8 for being 8-channel.
Yes.
Simple.
It is a nice little remote. I do like it. We released a video on this yesterday.
Okay.
So check
it out. I did watch it. It was pretty awesome.
Thanks. It actually did pretty well. It's got almost 4,000 views in 2 days.
That's
I'm
awesome.
fascinated to see that Joel's the only one who has been opinion has been altered by your last flight. Everybody's still up at the 2-3 minute point. So Jack, people are real believers.
They're 4 minutes. I'm calling
All
it
right.
4 minutes.
Are we ready?
Let's do it.
We good to go? Oof. All right, here we go.
Take some
All
easy
right.
laps here. Get warmed up.
All right, here we go. Oh, I should have pulled down my hoop because I only have the.
Sorry, you got plenty of stuff. You got little things, big things.
Big hoop.
You can fly faster. Just get warmed
this one
up.
does fly a little bit differently, I think.
Mm-hmm. It's a bit more like tame feeling, a little more on the smooth end.
Yes.
I feel like the Tinyhawk 3 is like more responsive. It's kind of how I feel about it.
Yeah. All right. So I got almost. Oh, man, this is a bad battery. I should have got a better one.
What is it? Oh, you're dead? Your battery gone? Almost?
Oh,
no, you got 3,
it'll
4.
Fly. I got plenty. All right, here we go.
Oh, there we are. All right.
Get a little bit of.
You gonna try one of those rings up there at some point?
Oh yeah. Let me. Let's see. Let's do this. Let's fly into the darkness. Into my. Uh-oh. And I made it. Boom.
Ooh,
that was
nice.
There we go.
That was solid.
Right. We're getting.
All right, we're at 119.
We'll figure 8 here. On the pole.
About those gymnastic rings there.
All right, hold on. There we go. Let me hit this guy first. Ooh.
Yeah, you hit it all right.
Ooh.
Oh, you're still good.
Takes a licking, keeps on ticking. Oh, no, I can't hit it. It's spun. All right, here we go. Gymnastic ring.
Got it. Oh.
So close.
Still going. This battery's going to die on me before I kill it.
Minute 55.
Oh, gosh darn it. Here we go. Come on. Oh.
Keep flying till it just blacks out.
Ooh, there's the.
How about a tour of the drone lair?
What's that tour of the drone lair? All right, here we go.
Yo!
I made it. I made it.
There it is.
All right, so here I am. It's the drone wall.
Hit yourself.
More drones on the wall.
Nice.
What we got up here? Oh.
3.15. Wait, what's that? 3.2
battery.
volts.
I'm gonna keep flying until it's dead.
Yeah, you gotta hit 4 minutes still. You're only at 3.
Getting some speed going here. Hit the hoop. Boom.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh, that's
Got some
sag.
battery sag going. It's
You have to play
that's
it.
about it.
And we're done.
All right.
315, 316.
We'll go with 314.
314. All right, let me go get the drone.
All right, if you think you won with 314, how do I get, let's see here. There, we'll go back to that view. So at 314, let's see. People were optimistic, but they weren't that optimistic.
I see a Mike with a
Was that
301.
Lon? Oh, wait, we got Robert.
Or is that older? Oh, that might be an older code. I don't know.
I think a first guess was at 919. So that was Robert put in 355, which is close. Lon might be taking it here at 242. Oh no, we got a three minutes. Mike, I don't know how to pronounce your name. Renek. I'm gonna leave the H out. Mike at 301, I think, takes this.
So who won?
Mike, how do we pronounce your name?
Mike is Air 2S Army.
Okay.
He's gonna love this thing. Renak. Is that right? Mike Renak?
Okay.
Right.
All right. Congratulations, Mike. Awesome. Mike, do you fly? Have you flown do you fly FPV or just the Air 2S? I know that's his drone of choice. Mike Renack.
Air 2S. That's a nice one.
That's awesome. Well, congrats. That's fun. That was fun. No, I do love flying whoops, and yeah, it is harder when you're under the gun.
Yeah, Jack.
I wasn't even doing anything fancy, and it was.
I feel like me under the influence last night was
might have been better.
I was pretty dialed in.
I'm curious, which one do you like flying more? Because they're pretty similar, but they do feel different. I'm curious what you like.
Which one I prefer? I think I prefer the first one, the Tinyhawk 3. It feels more responsive, and the camera is nicer. So there's that. Do they have different motors? I think they do, don't they? That's not the right.
Yeah, they do.
These are
Easy
smaller?
Pilot Pro. The Easy Pilot Pro still uses the original Tinyhawk motors, so they're a little bit bigger. Yeah. Whereas the Tinyhawk 3 is the new lighter weight ones.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So good stuff. Keep making good drones.
Yeah, we'll try. It's and that's where we need a lot of the community's help too. I mean, we want to hear like ideas, what the community wants. Go ahead. Feel free to like criticize us. Like we'll take it. If you think a product could do a little better, things like that.
All right, here's what I want. I want this with HD and ELRS.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
Is that too much to ask for? I think you guys are working on that.
I will bring that up. Don't worry.
I'm sure no one has thought of that as potentially an option. Throwing it out for the first time.
Yeah, first time.
For sure.
First I've heard of it, but don't worry.
Yes.
I got it right here. I'm going to bring it up first thing tomorrow.
Those technologies. They're coming. They're coming quickly. No, you make good stuff. I like it. I do. I would be interested in a Cinewhoop if you got it in the works. That would be cool. You know what? You mentioned this earlier, but just the props down, the pusher style quad. Yeah, I love it because I lose less props.
Yes,
because they're being pushed in and not flying off. Like you'll lose, especially with the press mount props. You'll sometimes lose them, especially if you're changing them a lot, right? Because whatever. But so kudos to you guys for doing that. That was nice, and it's more efficient, and there's lots of.
It was a little controversial when it first came out. I remember people weren't happy that like we made an original, prop mount. A lot of people were a little upset about it, but I mean, there's just a lot of bonuses when we did that. Like even just having like a thicker hub, it allowed a more efficient propeller because there's just more area to build a blade on, plus increased durability, plus what you were bringing up. Like, we're really proud of it. We thought it from the ground up.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Are there any 5-inch pusher drones? Does that offer any advantages?
There are advantages, but it's not as drastic as when you're going to like a really small size where every like square inch counts kind of thing. And then on top of that, just like the user friendliness of having reversed motors on like a larger drone, it's a little bit different.
Chewing up the grass.
Yeah, chewing up the grass. You have to think the use cases when people are flying and stuff. It would be better performance wise, but I don't know. I feel like there's too many trade-offs with it. Yeah.
Interestingly, I was looking at these, right? This is like a standard X, where this is
stretched X.
A stretched X. Why the change there?
Oh, well, the Tinyhawk 1 and 2 were stretched X, and it just allowed like a lot of control and whatnot. With Tinyhawk 3, there's an aspect of trying to like differentiate your products on top of like the bonuses. So Tinyhawk 3, we wanted to take it more of a performance direction. So getting a little smaller to hit tighter gaps, Also helps decrease the weight a little bit. So focus more on the performance side of things for experienced Whoop pilots, whereas the Easy Pilot Pro is, okay, it's a little beefier. There's more control being a stretched X as opposed to a pure X. So it just makes it easier to fly, things like that.
Gotcha. John Smithy's asking, will you ever sell a kit, a build kit for the Tinyhawk? Is that something you guys have considered?
Yeah, actually, that is something we've considered, because we've been slowly getting more and more involved with STEM programs and working with schools and things like that. And that is something that is brought up a lot. So like, definitely keep bringing that up, because we do hear it, and it is something we're considering for sure.
Yeah,
I think it would be a really great product.
Yeah, for sure. So I teach a drones class, and one thing we do not actually do is build. And just because of the time component, and I wanted to make sure we can do 107 study.
Right.
And like, you build a drone and it involves soldering, and then so I've got, let's say I have a class of 25 students, I build 25 drones, we solder them all together, and then what am I going to do? Am I going to desolder them all and then build, for the next year? So, I do know that there are some, kind of components where they're, plug-in, and, obviously like the motors here, they plug, they're not soldered, right? So there's some of that for sure, but interesting.
What about, Jack, that hula hoop you have out there, right? You put that together yourself.
Yes.
I know I've been poking around your site here. It's all drones and one car. What about like some more support equipment? Is there room to differentiate? I know you guys are really good at keeping your prices pretty low. Any room to differentiate and support the community with like low cost light up gates or anything else? That might be kind of cool, because we were looking around and we couldn't, why is it so hard to buy, find a light up hula hoop that doesn't cost $50? So something like that might be an interesting area to look at too, because you guys, you're very, Tinyhawk's a flagship, so that's a lot of indoor flying.
Yeah, no, it's definitely something. We looked into, and like trying to source gates and things. It's just, I don't know, it's hard to find like good high quality ones.
Okay.
And it's kind of like been like on and off trying to like get all that together. But definitely something like we're looking into.
So I was thinking, you get guys like Jack and doing, whether you're doing races or whatever, kind of some sponsorship stuff. There's nothing big with your name on it. You do a big gate. You send Jack a gate with, and then all the students from all around are seeing that your brand out there. Might be a play, but
for sure.
Anyway, I'll let you guys run your business.
No. I mean, we had like gates and flags in the past, more for like more like the 5-inch crowd and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we've done stuff like that. But I do hear you. We definitely do need like small gates and stuff. So it is something that we've tried like sourcing and stuff. But again, we just have like higher quality standards. We want it to be more affordable for people, because I know a lot of like our audience being beginners, and especially like our whole selling point is that we're trying to make affordable RTF kits. We also want to make sure then like everything is affordable, but still like good quality. You're not just going to like use it once and then the fiberglass rod snaps and you throw it away. We don't really want to do that.
Yeah.
So that's, we're picky, and that's kind of why we can be a little slow when it comes to like releasing new products. But unlike some other brands who maybe they only have R&D for like, couple months, 3 months, a lot of our products, like we have like a minimum like 6 months of R&D, generally even longer. Like our Baby Hawk 2 HD, we spent like 2.5 years on that product to like, because it was like a new class of drones, 3.5 inch.
Yeah.
But we didn't just, make a 3.5 inch prop and then, slap together a drone. Like we wanted to make sure there was a lot of intent and reasoning behind every single aspect to that product. So took a long time to do.
That's cool. That is cool. No, I do appreciate and recognize, you know, the quality that goes into your products. You know, I feel like for a while there, it was like we would get these drones from China and it was, you know, one iteration after the next was just like, did they test this before they sent it to us? And
yeah,
like, I don't get, like, why did they make this change or why did they not make this change? And, you know, it just seemed like they were, you know, certain companies were just slapping things together and shipping them out. And, you know, then you know, the consumer would then be the beta tester. And I don't know that that's a great route.
We definitely don't like that. We don't want to be that.
So
absolutely.
Well, good stuff.
All right. Yeah, that's about all I got. Cornell, thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks for coming on our show. And yeah, guys, we've got some links to these drones here if you want to see the videos we made on them. Like I said, I just released the Easy Pilot Pro video yesterday and the Tinyhawk 3 probably a couple weeks before that. So they're on our channel. They'll be in the video description if you want to watch those. Check out Emacs USA. Definitely some good stuff. 5-inch down. You know what I didn't ask? You guys working on any goggles or just like I really like the goggle screen combo. Is that the kind of the route you're going, or you guys ever look into doing something little skinnier, or is that something that you guys are kind of not in?
Yeah, no, it's something we've toyed with for sure, and like we've looked at. Just again, it's, you know, what is the audience you're building for, and right now I would say the space for premium goggles is a little bit weird because like, what are you flying? Are you flying DJI? Well, then you're stuck on those goggles. Yeah. Right. Or if you're going HD0, you know, how that pans out. Are there going to be, you know, dedicated HD0 goggles in the future? You know, how does things pan out in that direction? So right now we're just more focused on like beginner type products, though it is definitely things that we've looked at.
Cool. A good question in the chat. Max asking about the different battery connectors, right? So, you know, these are both PH 2.0s. I think the Tinyhawk was a GMB 27. Is that what that was?
Yeah,
I remember.
Yeah, it's the GNB connector.
Okay, so and that is supposedly a better connector, right? Some people have done testing. So why the PH 2.0
on the Tinyhawk?
Yeah.
Well, so Tinyhawk was geared more as like the we designed that more for like the performance type people. So it's like people where Tinyhawk is still kind of too tame and beginner friendly, and they want something more aggressive. So with that, the Tinyhawk has much more power draw than the Tinyhawk does because it's, you know, really beefed up. So we had to get a better connector because when we were testing with PH2, it was limiting. It was sagging early. By switching to the GNB connector, for example, there was a whole minute extra flight time. I mean, it's a drastic difference using a bigger connector like that.
But that doesn't help with the Tinyhawk? Or I imagine it probably would still, yes? Or is it just that everybody has these batteries sort of thing?
Yeah, because Tinyhawk, it's kind of built that name. A lot of the audience is invested in those batteries. And then on top of that, people aren't, at least, you know, the audience, they're not like aggressively really pushing Tinyhawks to like, you know, max throttle all the time. So you don't really feel the effects as drastically using GNB and the PH2 on Tinyhawk as you would with the Tinyhawk.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, that's one of those things that I'm not sure which direction I want, right? Like I have a handful of these batteries. I got a handful of the BT 2.0s. I got a handful of GNB 27s, and it's like, I don't know. If someone just makes a decision like, is one of these really the best? Just can everybody just decide on that, and then we'll move in that direction? Like that's what I'll do. Like so, Cornell, make a decision, figure out which one's the best, and just go with it. We'll adapt. We will figure it out. That
Yeah,
Tinyhawk with the HD and the ELRS, whichever battery is best, put that one on it. You decide which one is, and then we will figure it out. We will follow suit.
Okay. All right, I'll take that to heart. But yeah, performance is king, so we'll definitely take that in consideration. Yeah.
Throw a little adapter in there for the, to help people transition.
Yeah,
we did do that with the Nanohawk. There is a little adapter just because, there's still tons of PH2 batteries everyone has. So it's a hard choice whenever you're changing, a battery standard, and then whether people take that or not. It can completely make or break a product.
Yeah, and these batteries don't last forever either. So
and we don't take great care of them. Like, I'm really good with my bigger batteries. My 1S batteries, I drain the heck out of them, and
they get puffy after like a month.
For sure,
constant abuse.
Chris, did we figure out who the you got the names of the two winners written down somewhere?
Yeah, we got Joel for the first one. He wanted the bug.
Joel wants the fly hall, the
bug
MJX,
6, if you will, and then Mike with the silent H. Rennick gets the Tinyhawk or Nanohawk. Sorry.
All right. I don't think we have Joel. Did you send us an email, Joel? Joel sent us an email. Mike, we probably have yours somewhere. I'm pretty sure we've corresponded via email, but send us one there also. drones@halfchrome.com, and we'll make it happen. Great fire starters for the batteries. Yes, unfortunately they are. Oh, goodness gracious.
All right.
Yeah. Try to take care of the
batteries. They're the one thing you have to respect them, because yes, for sure. Yeah. So, all right, Cornell, we'll let you get out of here. Thank you for joining us. We'll stay in touch. All right, Joel. All right, Joel. Now send us an email, and we'll verify that. Drones@halfchrome, and we'll get you some drone stuff. So Metal Animal Can. John is right. So, all right,
guys.
Well, guys, thank you so much. It's been like an absolute pleasure to be on this show, man. It's awesome. Yeah. So, Jack, Chris, thank you so much for having us on.
Thanks for coming. Appreciate it.
Thanks for joining.
All right.
All right, everybody.
All right, everyone. Have a good night.